capitulation, Ukrainian troops would be required to withdraw from Russia's Kursk region, an area of vital strategic interest. Meanwhile, an international demilitarized zone would be established, potentially patrolled by European forces, possibly including British troops, but notably excluding American personnel. It is not just military considerations. The European Union would step in to help Ukraine rebuild, though the bill could run as high as $486 billion over the next decade. In return, America would continue to support Ukraine's military and Ukraine's ambition to join the European Union by 2030. But there is more. If this peace plan were to go forward, sanctions on Russia's energy sector would be lifted gradually over the next few years. The easing of sanctions would include special duties on Russian energy, directly funding Ukraine's reconstruction efforts, and a move some may view as a troubling concession to Russia. If things proceed as planned, by 20th April a formal ceasefire would be declared. By May 9, both sides would announce agreed-upon parameters for an official end to the war. While the diplomatic discussions heat up, the situation on the ground remains volatile. Ukrainian forces reportedly struck a Russian airfield used to launch Shahed drones from southern Russia. In retaliation, Russia fired 77 drones and ballistic missiles overnight in an ongoing effort to disrupt Ukraine's military capabilities. And while Ukraine is battling Russia on the front lines, it has received significant support from the Western allies. France has already delivered the first batch of Mirage fighter jets to Ukraine, bolstering the country's air defense capabilities. So what's next for the people of Ukraine and the ongoing war? Will Trump's peace plan become a reality, or is it just a fleeting piece of political theatre? As international leaders gather in Munich next week, all eyes will be on what comes next and whether the prospect of peace is truly within reach. Bureau Report, India Today Global.